Your goal is to be the happiest person in the room, okay? And that should be the title of this video. You want to be the happiest person in the room. Diet, exercise, and mindset, none of them by themselves are the objective here, okay? Nobody wants to be the most fit person in the world. Now, nobody wants to have the healthiest diet in the world. Okay? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good Problems to Have with David Nima. I'm your host, David Nima, happiness expert, and I'm here to help spread love, peace, joy, wealth, health, happiness, 1 nanosecond at a time to one person at a time. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe and share with your friends if you like this content. Today we're going to talk about happiness, okay? And let's just have a nice, relaxing conversation about happiness and what really kind of is the purpose of life. And I think that's really the main title of this video, right? What is the purpose of life? Now, for me, I was one day, as a young boy, I think teenager, walking around with my friend Samy. And we were just walking, and we were kind of debating, so to speak, and we were both kind of post bar mitzvah and early high school age. So we had this kind of, we were just having one of our most intellectual discussions at that time. And I vividly remember we were just kind of going back and forth on, what is the meaning of life? Right? What is the meaning of life? And we said okay, so at that point we're early high school kids. So you can imagine we said is it having a nice car? And we said no. And is it having, a big house? And no, that's, we said no. And we said, is it maybe, for example, could it be, having, a family and a wife and kids or a husband and children and stuff like that? And we said, no, we not really, And we both, and I vividly remember this, and if you talk to Samy, he'll confirm this, that I remember we came to the conclusion, and we both agreed, that the meaning of life, or the purpose of life, is happiness. The purpose of life is happiness. Okay? So, the goal is to achieve more happiness. That's, I think, the best thing that you can go for in terms of your life, and the best kind of objective. When I was younger, I kind of had this goal. I said, what I'm going to dedicate my life to is such and such cause, and I think that's a worthy thing to dedicate my life to. And maybe later I said, I'm going to have a family, and I'm going to dedicate myself to having a family, and that's a worthy thing to kind of dedicate your life to, right? But I'm here to tell you that the best thing to dedicate your life to, I think the most natural thing to dedicate your life to, is happiness. Okay? The human brain is wired to really enjoy feeling happy and joyful and, and elated and funny, because we're one of the most emotional creatures on the planet, in terms of our desire for emotion and conflict and logic. And most comedians will tell you that logic and happiness or comedy are closely tied, because it because comedy plays with logic. And we are logical. We're one of the most logical animals on the planet. And by definition, we trade in happiness, I think, more than other animals. Okay, but I think we can still take a cue from other animals in terms of what, they kind of pursue what makes them feel good, or, what kind of creates them, brings joy to them. But I think for humans, it's very logical to accept that because of our kind of primal urge towards logic and problem solving, and because of the connection between logic, or the kind of the playfulness, the playing with logic that comedy does, and essentially we just want to be happy. And here's another argument for why happiness is really the kind of like the purpose of life, or one of the what the pursuit of life is that it's mentioned in the Constitution. It says in the pursuit of happiness. The Constitution specifically says that one has a right to the pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Okay? It doesn't say life, liberty, and the pursuit of a family. It doesn't say life, liberty, and the pursuit of a nice BMW or a nice Ferrari. It doesn't say life, liberty, and the pursuit of a home. Right? It says the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, you can go into the constitutional history, and I'm here to tell you that the word happiness was very deliberately selected there, and I put credence to that too. And I kind of just explained earlier why there's other reasons why happiness is really the ultimate goal, but I think it's confirmed through the Constitution, in which in the very first line it says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So let's just kind of mutually agree, at least for the purpose of this blog, that happiness is the ultimate goal. And of course, happiness is the subject matter of chapter 2. So what I think is important to recognize is because I'm seeing in my social media, I'm seeing a lot of influencers, right? Influencers that are selling different types of things to help you with a better life, so to speak. Health and wellness influencers. Let's just kind of put them in that category. And these health and wellness influencers, in my experience, what I'm seeing is that most of them are very kind of unitary. First of all, I think you should be critical of any influencer or anyone that's selling you anything other than happiness. Okay, if they're selling you things like being fit, let's just say, or being smart, or being attractive, or being rich, or living a long life. Longevity. Longevity is a huge topic, and we talk more about that in chapter 5 under time, but longevity is just another one big ticket item in terms of it sells. It sells views, it sells articles, it sells pills, and all these other things. In terms of fitness, the fitness industry is really what I'm kind of I want to discuss in this blog. In addition to the diet industry, and then the mental health industry, right? So you have the mental health industry. Well, in my experience, these three things are related, and you have to kind of I think you're well advised to view your happiness through the lens of diet, exercise, and mindset. Diet, exercise, and mindset is this kind of trifecta that is really kind of like what you need and all you need in terms of self-improvement and self-regulation, okay? And I would kind of categorize everything that I see in terms of on the web and the government and doctors, anyone that's telling me anything in terms of health and wellness, I would put that, is this falls under diet, exercise, or mindset? That's really all there is. And here's the other rub here, which is that if you're talking to a therapist, they're only going to be advising you on mindset. And if you're talking to a nutritionist and you're working with a nutritionist, they're only going to be advising you on your diet. And if you're working with a trainer, they're only going to be helping you with your exercise. And I think that's fine, but these kind of influencers that are very kind of single-minded, you got to think big picture. You got to think about your diet, exercise, and mindset. And what I have found is that these things kind of feed each other in terms of if you have a good, positive, good diet, then you're going to exercise better and you're going to think better. And if you think better and you have a better mindset, more a positive mindset, you're going to exercise more. And if you exercise more, that actually helps your brain, your endorphins and your mindset. And your mindset helps your diet. So these things kind of feed each other. And I think that's, and the other kind of major, I think, takeaway from here is that all of them are a means to an end. Okay? Diet, exercise, and mindset, none of them by themselves are the objective here. Okay? Nobody wants to be the most fit person in the world. Now, nobody wants to have the healthiest diet in the world, okay? And in terms of even positive mindset, you definitely want to have a positive mindset, and it's very, very influential, of course. And that's why 70% of Good Problems to Have is actually about mindset. We only have one chapter on diet and one chapter on exercise, and we have about 5 or 6 chapters on mindset. So mindset is absolutely critical. However, it's also a means to a goal, which is happiness. Happiness is the ultimate destination. Okay, do what makes you happy. Now, what if you say, like, for example, what if it makes me happy to, I don't know, steal from other people? Well, hey, at least you're happy. Now, of course, there's social consequences in contemporary society if you're committing theft. So you have to kind of deal with that. But if that personally makes you happy, you're either going to do it or you're going to be unhappy not doing it. Okay? And this is not a push to kind of like, give in to your indulgences or kind of like do whatever you want as long as it makes you happy. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying here is that when you're looking at solutions for health and wellness, your goal is not necessarily to live the longest, be the most fit, have the best, cleanest diet, or even have the most positive, optimistic mindset. Your goal is to be the happiest person in the room, okay? And that should be the title of this video. You want to be the happiest person in the room, okay? So I hope that this kind of helps you a little bit in terms of what you see on social media and other kind of publications and influences in terms of health and wellness, because I'm here to tell you that happiness is the ultimate goal. I mean, it's mentioned in the Constitution, which really gives it a lot of credence. And I think, we can talk about the Constitution in a separate video, but happiness is where it's at, Happiness is absolutely where you want to be. So in Good Problems to Have under chapter 2, I discuss happiness, and really I think what I've come to find a formulaic solution to happiness, okay? And it definitely has a lot to do with gratitude, and you got to have the meaningful relationships and positive mindset, as you can see. So I focus on positive mindset here. So grab a copy or like and subscribe to GPH Lifestyle on Instagram and on YouTube, where I discuss all the best practices for achieving happiness. That's your goal. Your goal is to be happy. I'm here to tell you. You can see. We can talk about this a little bit more, but maybe in other blogs. I think I've exhausted the issue. But happiness is what you should be attaining to, not other buzzwords that are designed to, essentially sell you product or maybe get you to do something that you otherwise, could achieve happiness through another route, right? And we'll discuss that more in other blogs. So thanks for listening. This is David Nima, the author of Good Problems to Have. I consider myself a happiness expert, and I'm here to help spread happiness to one person every nanosecond of the time. Check out GPH Lifestyle on Instagram and YouTube, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.